First of all, guys, the reason why this took so long, there was a mistake in all the files on What If Naruto. Phone Uzumaki curse got deleted, so I had to go back and rewrite every single thing for the ending. This is not the ending. However, I had to go back and write over everything, guys. And it was incredibly long to do that, because I already had a lot of it plotted out. However, I jotted it down on my computer, but the files got deleted. My mistake, guys. So it took a long while to written down everything back. The sequence, the scenes. Yes, it was hellish to write back that all down, considering that I have already written it down and it got deleted, all of it. So that is why it took me so long to bring out this next part, guys. But don't worry, I got it back up. Well, most parts. So you don't have to worry, guys. So here is part 15 of What If Naruto found the Uzumaki curse. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share to all of your friends, social media platform. And also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Awaken His True Potential and enjoy that, guys. So yeah, without further ado, what is we leap on this new episode start? The intro. So the last part that we left off, as Naruto stood in front of the Kumo group, C, Z, several others were there. Yujito was also there as well. However, when he moved, his speed caught them completely off guard. They never expected someone to be as fast as Raikage, so that was rather alarming. The members quickly jumped into action. The first one to move was Yujito as she attacked him, her claws coming up to swipe at him, but he grabbed her hand. Showing brute force, he slammed her into the ground. The next thing she knew, he placed a seal on her chest, as she found herself in a strange cell. As she looked around, she saw a rather tall, muscular man walking towards her. He picked her up as she was unable to fight back, the seals in her body preventing her from using chakra, and without chakra her hits were rather pathetic. As he just brought her towards a location, she was afraid, being so vulnerable. However, he wasn't going to hurt her. That was his order, as she was confused what was going on. Back on the bridge, the members were confused. What the hell just happened as they looked around? Where was Yujito? The rest of them came in to attack Naruto. The brutality that he showed. It was a show for C, for him to understand the power that Naruto possessed so that he can tell his lord. Upon doing so, Naruto allowed C to run. C ran all the way back, just taking small breaks here and there. It took him a long while to get back to Kumo. However, Naruto could feel a sentient being watching him, so he sat down and waited. The masked man of the Akatsuki then showed up, as Zetsu had been the one watching Naruto. The man was truly surprised. The nine-tailed Jinchuriki was able to pull something like this off. That was rather ingenious of him. However, he told Naruto to pass his mantle down because the Akatsuki would be taking the nine-tails from him, as he came here to talk to him straight. Naruto did not protest or fight against the man. However, he did throw a strange knife, but it passed right through the man. The man sucked himself in a swirling vortex after his finish, unaware that Naruto already set plans into action as he picked up the knife. It wasn't a normal knife, there were seals all over it. So with that, Naruto made his way off. The news got out about what happened at Land of Wave, as the world started to hear that the Uzi leader was once a Konoha shinobi. Kiba tried to inform Hinata of this. Hinata had changed over the past few years, turned into the cold, merciless leader that the Hyugas needed. After she heard the second time about Naruto's death. However, subconsciously she knew that he was not dead, but her mind would not tell her that until she saw Naruto. As the death of Naruto had affected many people. That wasn't the only thing though. Sasuke had met his brother, and Itachi had cried. Itachi had literally sunk to his knees and cried. Itachi had been broken for the past couple of years, literally broken through and through. There was nothing left for him in this world, nothing left for him to do. However, to see that his brother was actually alive, to see that his brother was there to carry on some sort of legacy, he felt horrible. As Sasuke asked him to tell him the truth, he wasn't here to fight him. He knew that Itachi was already dying. Itachi was confused how Sasuke knew that. However, the Uzumaki reach was far over the elemental nation. As he told him that, he just wanted to know why. Knowing that he would scar his brother by just leaving him in the dark for the rest of his life, Itachi sat down as he spoke with him, telling him the truth about what happened back then, what happened within Konoha, why he had to execute the Uchiha clan. After that long session, it changed something within Sasuke. It changed him deeply. Hearing that his brother did all of this, the sacrifice that his brother took, his eyes, it changed. As Itachi, using up the Tsukuyomi, it caused his death. He was already dying and using up his eye as well. He died with a smile though, as he just told Sasuke he's sorry, and he just wanted him to be happy, and he loved him. The transplant of the eyes went off, as it would take some while for Sasuke to fully recover. When Naruto arrived there, he asked Haku about this. She simply wrapped her arms around him and told him that Sasuke will be fine. However, it will take some time. They will soon have to go to Konoha. Naruto knew how much Sasuke cared about Sakura. When he had died the first time on the bridge, a relationship had bond between them. And Naruto also think of her like a younger sister to a point after all. And he could see that Sasuke, despite dating over the years, seemed to have a soft spot for that girl. However, there was much more things to do. For now though, Sasuke had to rest. We had a time skip as C reported everything to his Raikage, who was expectantly furious. He was pissed off. He wanted to grind Uza down to nothingness. However, the problem was coming to him, it seems. The Uzumakis have subjugated an island for animals. Animals that were fed extreme amount of chakra, turning those animals into summoning creatures. It was an experiment by the former Uzumakis that Naruto and his group had continued afterwards. As Naruto possessed the knowledge of the sealing scroll that was from Konoha, so many things in Uza that were not supposed to be there were there. And with that knowledge, Naruto was able to create several summoning animals, perfect the past Fuinjutsu. Not to mention with the past 5 years, his Fuinjutsu had become unmatched. Just using raw chakra no longer needed a brush or ink. As both him, Kenjin and Hanako had made their way towards the land of lightning, making their way towards Kiri. Arriving there on their bird, they came to a stop as they started to walk. Immediately were surrounded by Killer Bee, the Raikage and dozens of Anbus. Naruto tried to start the thing out with a peaceful negotiation. However, the man refused on every count. Even if he did not get back his Jinchuriki, he was sure that the other nations hated the rise of Uza, as he told Naruto that Uza was not recognized as any major village and he wasn't a Kage. So he was gonna crush him and every other people there unless he gave him all of the secrets of the village that they've contained over the past couple of years, that they've gathered, and only then would he allow it to be safe if he did not deem it as a threat after taking what he feel like Nestor was taking. As it was rather astonished for him to say something like that. Kenshin really hated the nations that were involved in the Uzu massacre, so he did not like this one bit. Hanoka was getting pissed off as well as Naruto said no. The Raikage flashed in front of him, lightning surging around his body as the members got ready. As Naruto heard a voice in his head who told him to decimate them. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the place for yourself and we'll just begin this new episode. We begin this episode with Kurenai Iwai as she stood in front of none other than Sakura. The Hokage does not know what is going on, Sakura said. The rumors had become so thick all over that people started questioning if he was truly alive. Almost everyone heard about the rumors. If Naruto was alive, there was a good chance Anko was also alive as well. There was a good chance Sasuke was also alive as well. None of them knew. Tsunade had not confirmed this or denied it. We will just have to wait, Sakura said. But why? Why would he do this? A pissed off Kurenai said, if they truly faked their deaths and just left the village, she would be angry. Sakura herself did not, voiced her own opinions on that, and she seemed to be calming herself. The last time Naruto died when we thought that he fell off the bridge in Land of Wave, he came back. However, that was just 6 months. It's been 5 years. 5 long goddamn years, she said, as she clenched her fists. You could see that Sakura was insanely pissed off, and she wanted to know the truth as well. However, at the moment no one knew, and no one knew the answers that they seek. While that was going on though, at Kumo, the Raikage was said to be the fastest man in the entire elemental nation. Ever since the death of the fort, the man has gone above and beyond to prove himself to be the fastest man, and everyone recognized that title. However, C had remembered what he saw. C knew how fast Raikage was. It was a sensor, so he could tell when chakra moved from a place to another, and he could tell the distance. However, when Naruto moved, it wasn't like there was any burst. It was just like pure teleportation that did not waste a single second, which made absolutely no sense. So C was worried. However, at the moment, the hulking beast of a man stood right in front of Naruto. Given Naruto's growth spurt, and his rather muscular body as well, the Raikage didn't have that much leverage over him, physically. However, the Raikage still had more muscles. But despite that, it looked rather even. Strangely enough, maybe it was a nonchalant look on Naruto's face, as the man raised his fist up to the heavens. If he supposedly killed the leader now, Uzu would just break apart without a head. They would have no one to run them. As he brought his gigantic fist down, his body was pumped up to the max, not taking any chances. His hair spiked on end, his fist covered in lightning as he brought it down. The entire mountainside caved in when his fist struck the ground, causing him and the envoys to jump away as the mountainslide rushed down towards the bottom. Several giant debris crashing down as Killer Bee jumped forward as his brother landed. "Bro, that was quite the show, but it doesn't seem like you got him, you know," said Killer Bee as he tried to look through the smoke. The Raikage was confused as he looked towards his hand. That was his fastest. There was no way possible that his punch could have been dodged. It was then that Bee felt it. Bee-sama he heard behind him as he turned. Bee turned as Kenjin stood there, foot raised. Bee tried to bring his arm around, but he was not fast enough as Kenjin dropped his feet in Bee's guard. Bee was blasted off the settlement. The Raikage spun around to attack Kenjin, who jumped off. However, Naruto phased in front of him. The Raikage staggered just for a split second. However, that second caused him, as Naruto raised his hand, he placed 2 fingers on the man's temple. The Raikage tilted his head just in time, pushing all of the lightning upwards to move at a speed that his head shouldn't even move at. It caused his brain to literally jumble from the overfluctuation of lightning. However, it saved him though. His left ear was blown clean off. A red beam had gathered on Naruto's fingertip. As the Raikage was falling to the side, he twists as he brought his feet around despite the pain. He ignored it. His feet charged with pure raw electricity. As Naruto leaned back, the feet passing him, everything looked like it was going in slow motion for the Raikage. However, to his surprise, Naruto pushed past that. A strange red glow surrounded his body. As Naruto stepped forward, the first thing he did was slam a fist in the Raikage's stomach. However, because of the speed that they were going, nothing happened. But the man's skin and muscle, it rippled. As Naruto then slammed another one in his chest. Before he backhanded the man, time sped up as the Raikage spat out blood and he was thrown. He smashed down below. The envoys leaped forward only for them to hear Uzumaki ceiling style, animated army. Hanoka threw out several papers. Those papers attached themselves to boulders, broken pieces of stone, anything that he could find. And once they did, the boulders started to move. One of the envoys tried to make its way down towards Naruto, however. The stone shoot forward so quickly it burst through the man's ribs, as blood exploded underneath his mask. His entire left side was then gouged off by a massive boulder that was glowing red, only for the boulder to be pulled back. As the bodies start to pull together, all the stones start to form miniature rock golems, the tags on them proving to be their main source of life. As Hanoka supplied them with chakra, having enough chakra to summon a large army like this made from stone. The Anvus moving as they clash against the rock army. One of them were able to burn the tag as they realized once they did that, the golem would fall apart. However, the golems were durable if you did not touch a tag. The stones just seemed to reform once you breathed them. Without the tag being destroyed, bodies of Kumo Anvus were being crushed and decimated. The Raikage was too cocky as he did not believe that bringing an entire force just to deal with 3 people should be the case, so he had just bought them. Killer B and him were here, so that should be enough. Down below, as Kenjin stood in front of Killer B, raising his blade towards Killer B. Killer B looked at him. You fool, you fool. You think your blade can make me turn into a drool? I'll show you who rule, as he threw out his blades and caught each and every one of them. Kenjin scoffed with disgust. A part of me was hoping that this would happen. Although my master wants peace, I also seek peace as well for my people, my family. However, I know you're kind. You are just hypocrites that love to take and take and take, and you will not stop taking until someone take your life, said Kenjin. Once before you brought Uzi down to his knees, your people, and even after rebuilding now you want to subjugate us. You want to prove that you're stronger. Well, if before you had found out, and you have done something, that would have been the case, but now, you're too late. And you should know something, Jinjuriki. Whenever fighting at Uzumaki, do not waste any time. Kenjin slammed his blade into the ground. Uzumaki Fuinjutsu. The blade started to emit kanjis that started to spread over the place. B, don't let those things. However, the voice of the Hatsumi was cut off as B tried to jump away, but he found himself surrounded by these strange markings that seemed to swallow the entire area, as he was now stuck inside of a strange cube of sorts, and he was not feeling the Hatsumi. Those markings that you see are a resemblance to my Uzumaki chains. So think of your connection to your tail beasts. Cut. And I can assure you, as Kenjin pulled his blade out of the earth, my master in Kenjutsu is undefeatable, he said. He moved as him and B clashed. B was shocked when the force pushed his feet back. Shocked as he realized this guy was actually pushing him back. The smile off B's face instantly vanished. He had to take this seriously as he could not feel the Hatsumi's chakra. As the Kenjutsu battle began, meanwhile, the Raikage had this glare that would have killed a lesser man by just looking. However, Naruto was undisturbed as he looked down in the man's face. I warned you, said Naruto. This all could have been solved peacefully, but your arrogance would not let it be. The Raikage clenched his fist tight as it was a popping sound. As he glared up towards Naruto. You've made a big mistake, he said. Coming here to my village, attacking my home believing that you will escape. As Naruto could feel the other chakra signatures arriving, they must have felt the battle. You think your ninjas can stop me and my group? You should know this. You're not the only important people in the world. I did not come here to fight, however I knew your arrogance would get the better of you, despite me offering to return your Jinjuriki. 4. No repercussions of trying to attack land of waves that I no control. You still stand against me. For what? Past grudges. You think you can be a leader, child, the Raikage said. Just because you got a few ragtag shinobis to pull together doesn't mean that you're a leader. It doesn't mean you understand what it takes to lead. Your village will not stay as it is. There will be no world in existence that the Uzumakis reign supreme over any nation here. And that is your problem, said Naruto. I speculated no. Taking over or me trying to control your nations, but yet, that is the conclusion that you jumped to. I already know this a long time ago that you would never allow us to coexist together. Because of that, there is only one solution, said Naruto. War. The Raikage chuckled. Do you believe that your village could stand up against mine or the others that will rise to seek your destruction? In the past, I would have said no, however. You are too arrogant and stupid to realize how long the Uzumakis have been here. You think our forces is new. You think that we just start to gather our allies. Well, you're sorely mistaken if you believe that is the case. And besides, not everyone's as ignorant as you. But I implore you to gather your forces. Gather your men, gather your weapons, and come. I will strip your ninjas down to nothingness. Only when you drop to your knees and beg me to stop. And plead with me to stop this chaos that I bring upon your nation. And beg me to stop the onslaught that will definitely bring the end of the entire civilization in Land of Lightning. Will I stop? And once I do, your head will be the thing that will seem as the thing to stop all of this. The Raikage scoff. Stupid, arrogant child. That outcome will never happen. As Naruto merely smiled. We will see about that, he said. As he started to go through hand signs, the Raikage jumped forward, however. Naruto was gone by the time he smashed his fist into the wall. The man grit his teeth in frustration and anger. Hanoka vanished as well. Meanwhile, Kenjin looked up as he frowned. Killer Bee had several nasty cuts over his frame. The next time we meet, Jinchuriki, you will die. With that, Kenjin vanished. The Uzumakis were not here to fight, just to give a warning. As that was to show the power that they possess. They had a chance of going after the Eight Tails, but they did not. Because they did not fear him. They did not fear any tail beasts. They fear no one. And the Raikage made a big mistake in starting this up. A medical ninja quickly rushed to his aid and started to bandage up his ear, as the blood freely ran down. However, the man pushed away the medical ninja. He did not die for this. Uzu will be crumpled, crushed under his might. The reason why the Raikage was truly pissed off was because that beam. The Raikage saw his movements. He could have fired that beam a lot earlier than he anticipated. However, he allowed him time to move his head, as the child was showing him that he was beneath him, and that angered him. A mere child. Despite Naruto being 20 plus, the man, think of him as a mere child. As he saw the beam had generated enough power to fire off, however, he did not. He waited until he moved his head, just to show that he could kill him at any time, even what they did to be, sealing away the tail beast inside of him. The Uzumaki's seal in progress was truly fearsome. However, he could not do this alone. However, he was not the only one that did not wish for Uzu to rise. Time skip. The land of rain, always pouring, always raining. It is said to be under the faithful watch, under the king. No, not a king, a god. A god and his angel, always watching over the village, always making sure that they're safe, protected, to make sure that they would never be lonely. However, this god has been neglecting some of his duties. He claimed that he wanted the betterment of the in-rain, however, his views had been blindsided. Yes, they have been for the past couple of years, since the death of his best friend, Yaiku. However, the god was still that, a god. The angel had tried her best. But even she can't stand against a god, not that she wanted to. He was her friend. Her closest friend, her confidant, her ally. And she just wants peace, just like him. However, the way to get peace was not the way it seems. The Akatsuki had yet to meet their move. Given the recent debacle, the rising of Uzu and the death of the Nine Tails, they were waiting for the beast to reform. However, it seems that their intuition on that was wrong. Because now the world is starting up once again. As there was eyes all over the place, the organization would be instantly discovered if they were to go after the Kazekage now. Konoha has bolstered its forces over the past couple of years under the ranks of Sneddith Sanin when she saw how terribly weak they were. And now the rising of Uza. The village was prepared to help out the Slan as well because they were indeed allies. With Gara taking the mantle as Kazekage, he brought forth a peace that's, well, his father never brought forward because Orochimaru tricked him, but still his father wanted the death and destruction of Konoha. But now, because of past event, because of a person, Gara had changed his ideals. However, at the moment, the eyes of Nagato snapped open with a look of fright as he felt it. An ominous feeling. He flared his chakra as Konan came in the room. "What's wrong?" she said. "Someone is here." As Nagato was confused, Konan looked towards him. "Who?" "I cannot find their exact location. It's more than one. Their chakra is so massive. It's blanketing all over the entire place." "All of the village?" Konan said in shock. As Nagato merely nodded his head. How could individuals have so much chakra that they blanket over the entire village? "They must be... no. Was it a Jinchuriki?" "That must be the case, but why would Jinchurikis come here?" "They're seeking an audience with me, it seems," said Nagato. "But how would they..." "I do not know." Nagato snapped his gaze towards the top end of the tower. "They're here." "What?" "But you said..." Immediately Tendo rise. As he calmly made his way, Konan looked towards Nagato. She created a paper clone, as she sent it as well. She was going to stay here to protect him just in case. If this person was able to enter the village and arrive here so quickly, these people could not be normal at all. And it's been a long time since she saw Nagato looking a bit worried. And she could tell that he was worried. She knew him by now to tell. Nagato and Konan calmly made their way, as Nagato was using the body of Tendo. Arriving towards the ledge, the person's back was turned to them, two others at his side. The Rinnegan looked towards the individual, feeling the overwhelming amount of chakra that seemed to just swallow everything around it. It seems unending, like there was literally no end to it, and yet it was so potent, so thick. As Naruto slowly turned his gaze, "Ah, we finally meet." As Naruto looked him over, "I was hoping to talk with the original." Konan and Nagato stood there, the darkness obscuring their vision a bit. However, they could see him quite well, and he could see them, it seems. "Who are you?" said Konan. "I see your masked friend has not told you about me yet. But I'm sure you heard the rumors. Wait, you're the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, aren't you?" "Yes, that's correct." "And you're here," said Nagato. "Our masked friend. Seems like you know a lot." "Yes, I do, Nagato." Nagato was shocked, confused. How did he... Kara Uzumaki. Kenjin spoke. Nagato's eyes went wide where he was, but Tendo did not show much emotion. "How do you know that name?" "And Aizo Uzumaki." "I asked you a question," said Tendo. "How do you know those names?" "My mother. She left behind her journals. What her and my father and my other ancestors did before their time came to an end on this world. When the fall of Uza happened, several smaller families flee. They went all over the elemental nation settling down. However, some others joined together and band to find all of them. But most was too afraid to reveal themselves to the world, too afraid of the repercussions, to lose what they already have, and to lose everything else once again. Those two people were your parents. They came here in the heat and rain. My mother wrote down everything. They had a son. His name was Nagato Uzumaki. A lovely child that they just want to protect. So they just wanted out of it. They kept the name, however, they did not let anyone know about their status, keeping themselves as far away from the clan politics as possible. They just wanted to protect you. However, they died. When my parents fall, I got all of that information. It wasn't too hard to link together. Once, we were able to find out that a Rinnegan user was in this village. Nagato was shocked that he knew that, but he did not ask how, as he just stood there as Kenshin kept on speaking. However, we do not understand how you were able to awaken those eyes. From what they wrote, you were a normal child. I awakened these eyes, said Tendo. I'm afraid that's not the case. Extensive research by the Uzumakis throughout history of data shows us how the Rinnegan came to be. Our clan was rather close with the knowledge of the Sage of Six Paths. You think of yourself as the second sage, said Naruto. Well, with the power that you possess, there is no reason why you wouldn't do that. However, I'm afraid that you have been lied to. You did not awaken these eyes. The reason being, if you had, your body wouldn't have suffered from the drawback of not being used them properly. Even now I can sense your life force. It is dwindling. And if you continue to use this time after time, you will continue to weaken yourself and you eventually die. And how do you know so much, said Konan. As I said, extensive research by the Uzumakis proved to be quite fruitful throughout the histories. You neither possess Senju or Uchiha DNA, so I doubt you awaken the Rinnegan. The two clans of the Sage merging together to reawaken that power. I'm afraid that someone has been using you this entire time. Using me. You believe I am the one that is being used here? It seems you don't understand anything after all, said Nagato. I am the one that is leading the entire cascade. But judging that you're here, I'm sure that you're already aware of that. I am the one that will bring peace to this world. I am the one that will change this world for the better. Me being used. Your foolish proclamation is incorrect. Are you sure about that? Hanuka said. What about that masked fellow who claimed to be Madara Uchiha? Konan narrowed her gaze. They do know a lot, she thought to herself. It doesn't matter what you believe or what you know, said Nagato. My goal is beyond your understanding because if you cannot see why peace is needed in this world, you don't understand. Well then, make me understand, said Naruto. Why do you wish to seek peace by collecting all of the bijus? That is quite simple. I will use that power to make sure the other nations understand that war is never the answer. When they truly feel the wrath of the power, I will rain down on them. The mere thinking of war anymore will deter them from going down that route ever again. So you're going to collect the bijus. And you're going to place them under control with your eyes. Do you think that you possess the fortitude and the mentality to do that? Your body is already greatly weakened without the Senju and Uchiha DNA. Unless you have something else. Something to seal them into. As Nagato was quiet about that. Can't you see you're being played? The thing that you're sealing the bijus in will not give you a weapon. What it will do is bring back a creature that has not been in this world for a very long time. A creature known as the Jubi. Tails, said Tendo as he looked towards him. Yes. A beast that is made up of all the other 9 tails. I believe this fake Madara wants to take this power for himself. Eventually, once you do gather the beasts, he will simply kill you and take all this power. And then the world will truly be at his beck and call. I understand your frustration, the reason why you want peace. The things that you have been through growing up in this land. The things that were done to you. But this is not the right way. That is why I implore you to stop this. Soon enough, I hope my words will be able to make you see the truth of your actions. To make you understand that this way is not the correct way. You have a village here. People that look up to you. People that love you. But you seem to be neglecting your duties. Focusing on things that should not concern you. The world is going to be in chaos for a time before. This is not the right way. You have a village here. People that look up to you. People that love you. But you seem to be neglecting your duties. Focusing on things that should not concern you. I end it. I will be the one to stop all subjugation. In a different way. Through the elimination of people. Yes, it might sound similar, however. What I intend to do will forever change. The nation as a whole. Peace can never truly be. Here, there will always be conflict, small chaos. But at least, there can be steady, small, controllable conflicts. No more world wars. No more genocide. No more apocalypse. For the entire world. And I was hoping that you can help me achieve this peace. And what if I were to say no, said Nagato, and capture you instead? As Naruto released a breath as he looked over the village. 5 days. I'll give you 5 days to think this over. And then I will return. And if you attack me, if you go against me and side with that man who want to see you fall, I will have no choice but to erase you, to stop you from committing the greatest sin that will eventually harm you down the line, because the pain will be so great when you finally understand that you're being used, that it will be too much for your mind to take, that all this time you were nothing but a pawn in someone else's game. So I will erase you. However, you don't have to worry about your village safety. As Naruto glanced towards Konan, she will be an efficient enough leader. Just like the Uzumakis. The reign has been subjugated to war by the other nations just because they're right in the center as they use your village like a battleground. I will make sure that your people are safe, even after you're gone. Remember my words. 5 days. With that, Nagato watched as he simply leaped off along with his 2 comrades. As he stepped towards the edge, as he saw a poof, a giant bird as they landed on it, and they flew away. Are we just gonna let them leave? Konan asks. Yes, for now. I do not wish to fight someone like that in my village. But you heard what he said. The things that he found out are things that no other people should know of. However, he knew them. Why would he be lying about the Madara thing? I always knew that that guy was not the real Madara, asking us to do his handiwork. He's also an Uzumaki. They're your family, Nagato, she said. He looked towards her. You're my family, he said. I know that. We've been together for the longest time. But those people, they're going to change the world as well. Are we really gonna fight against them? Are you doubting me, Konan? He asks. No. But you have to admit, the things he said, if this is true, then the entire time we were being manipulated by that man. Used. We have no idea where Itachi is. The masked man, I refuse to call him Madara anymore, did not inform us about any of this despite knowing this. Can't you see he's keeping information away from us? How much more will it take for you to finally understand that? He's not on our side, she said. As Tendo walked away, she decided to give him some space, for him to think this over, knowing that hassling him right now would not do any good for anyone, as he seemed like he needed to think this over before proceeding to any next step. After all, this information was quite a lot to take in, and if this Naruto was telling the truth, well, time skip. Mei Terumi sat behind her desk, as Aya was in front of her, as she read over the message from the Raikage. So it's starting already, she said as she placed it down. As Aya looked towards her, my lady, he said. He wants Kira to join, along with the hidden stone to bring the end of Uzo once again. It seems like he's gone and started something rather huge. He's basically trying to say if I'm not with them, well, I'm basically against them. And given our situation with the Civil War, he believed that we will jump to the offer to get in his good graces. Ayo clenched his fists. The man had the gall to try to push them into something they didn't want to do just because. He had a lot of manpower. Well, a voice suddenly said that someone else was in the room, sitting down on the couch. You were told that this would happen, sooner or later. Now it is up to you to do what you feel is best. May turned over the paper. She placed it down. Well, of course I would decline, she said. After all, I do not wish to get involved in any war, despite the threat of going up against Kumo and the Stone. Not to mention, if I accept their proposition, I would be going up against you and your leader. Yes, correct. The voice belonged to none other than Haku as she sat there, a former member of Kiri, one of the last Yuki around. Yes, May had knew about Naruto being the leader. After all, she had spoken to him and she had kept her word to remain quiet. She was one of the few that could be reasoned with. As Naruto said, he did not hear about the past. Yes, Kiri was involved in the destruction of his home. However, the leadership had changed. People like Yagura was a mad tyrant that wished to see the fall of all bloodline users. However, May was a pleasant woman, however she was incredibly smart. But when May met Naruto, she was able to see that going up against this man would be the death of them all. The conviction in his tone, look in his eyes, his words, the way he kept himself, the power that he just oozed. May had to say to herself, it actually frightened her. And she would not go up against this man if she had anything to say about it. And besides, dragging her people in a war, that would not be the smart thing to do as a leader. I stand with my proposition. I will be neutral throughout all of this, and I will not intervene. That is all we ask, Mizukage Dano Haku said. But what about the others? The San, Konoha. After all, they were allies with Uzi in the past. That is being dealt with, Haku said. And it surely was indeed. Gaara had received a message from the Uzumaki himself. Gaara remembered the day that Naruto had defeated him soundly and told him that for this, he was expecting a favor in the future when Naruto had repaired his seal. So this was a favor that he was expecting. Gaara wasn't so sure about the situation, however. The message relayed that Naruto was coming here very soon to speak to him. Naruto was the one that saved him from himself, so Gaara would give him the benefit of the doubt. He would. However, the situation of the world is quite thick right now, so he would have to go with his advisors and speak to them before joining into anything or accepting anything. The world is not safe right now as they were on the edge of war, and at any moment that war could be thrown everyone right into chaos. So he had to be smart and not make any sudden movements until he got the true reason behind everything. That is when he would make his own decision on everything. Meanwhile, in the Hidden Leaf, Konoha was great over the past 5 years, to be exact. Tsunade had shown that she was a competent leader by making sure that the shinobis were properly trained. Tsunade had been sure when she heard about the rumors of Uza that something bad was going to happen very soon. So she had made sure that all the teams got an evaluation and make sure that they're ready for what is to come. The newer generation was the ones that were going to lead for the future, so they had to be stronger. The Inishikacho, all of them had to be ready. They were going to be the future of Konoha. The elders were supportive of this. Yes, they were, after all. They want to see their village strong as well. Even Danzo had not said anything about it. However, at the moment, standing in front of Danzo was none other than Asuma himself. I am glad that at least a few individuals can come to their senses, said Danzo as he looked towards the man. You and I can both see that if that Jinchuriki was to set claim that he's now a Kage and try anything regarding Konoha, it wouldn't be good. Yes, but I believe the Hokage would not list the reason. She and Jiraiya-sama asked me about his personality and what I thought of him, given that I was the one that was leading the faction against him once he was here. They seem to disregard what I said. They want to see for themselves, even though I specifically warned them that it's not a good idea to agree to anything with him. he would just bring forth the destruction of this village. I too agree that, besides, the 9 tails belong in this village. It belongs to Konoha to bolster our forces. Allowing him just to run free, faking his death, doing as he please, is something that we cannot allow. Your father was finally coming to his senses, however. He died. He died before he could do anything about it. But now this woman is going to drive this village into ruins by agreeing to the boy terms. I have no doubt that he would come here. He has refused to have any interactions with Jiraiya and speak to her, but he will come soon. Despite the hostility showing by not interacting with any of them, she still believes that she can salvage this. She doesn't even know who he is. But you, from day one you know that he was a problem, and I hope you can still see that. We have to do something. We have to make sure that this child does not send this village into ruins. We both know that he hates this place. And with the power that he has accumulated now, thinking of himself as a Kage, there is no telling what he will do. Asuma nodded. Kurenai and no one believed him. However, once he showed them that Naruto was the monster that he was, they will finally understand. They will finally see that he was not the crazy one. They're the crazy one. They will finally understand. And even if he had to work with someone like Danzo to show that, he would. Soon they would understand. All of them would. Meanwhile, Asuma and Katetsu were having a normal day. Hey, everything is getting quite intense, isn't it? Asuma said, as he looked towards Katetsu. Yeah, I mean with the rumors that Naruto is a Kage of Uza. Huh, never thought he would be the one in charge. Well, considering that we thought that he was dead all those years ago, it came to a surprise to most of us. Yeah, I know what you mean. What do you think he will do though, against this village? I mean, he was never really liked here. And with the whole Asuma thing, after all, he was the biggest supporter of seeing Naruto fall. And many of us, not us two in particular, however many people agree with that. After what he did to those civilian people, well, he did beat them into an inch of their life. I mean, yeah, they attacked him first, but still, they were civilians, and it was barely even an attack. And yet he put them into comas. 3 of them died, remember? They died. Yeah, I know what you mean. But what if he attacked the village? I'm sure that he wasn't able to gather so much support over the past couple of years. I mean, Konoha is still the strongest nation, right? I don't think we have that much to worry about. Yeah, I guess you're right. It was then that a massive gust swept through the area, frightening the boatman. Confused by this sudden gust, it didn't take too long as Anvus flashed to the area. The 2 men were confused, wondering what was the trouble as they looked around. That is when they noticed a bird coming down. The Anvus surrounded the bird quickly as the thing landed right in front of the gates. Weapons were drawn, kunais were ready, hand signs were brought up. Katetsu and Izumo came out of the boat as they prepared themselves to get into a fight to protect their home. However, they saw the feet touch down. One pair first, then another, then another. 3 individuals walk as the bird poofed away. They walk with such nonchalance, without a care, so calm. Katetsu's eyes went wide. It's him. I wish to speak to your Hokage. His voice came out soft and innocent. However, they knew that he was not asking. The way he spoke, it was like he was demanding. In the office. Bring him here, said Tsunade as she got the message. Are you sure, my lady? Yes. Bring him right here. I want to meet this Naruto Uzumaki, she said. Tsunade has never met him before, considering that he was dead by the time she came around. And now she had a lot of questions. She knew that this would be coming. She knew that he would come here. And she has many questions that she wanted to ask. Not to mention, considering that she knew Kushina so well, maybe there was a chance that she could reason with this child to not do something stupid. Because if he made a move, war will start. Not between them, however, for Kumo and them. And war was never a pretty thing. You need to understand that. Moments later, rumors went around the village like crazy that the demon has returned to wreak havoc upon all of them, as they saw him being escorted through the village, calmly making his way towards the tower. Rumors spread like wildfire. At the sushi shop, Kunai, Hinata, Ino, and Sakura was there. The girls were speaking on the newest development. When they heard some people talking, they were rather shocked to what they heard. Hinata's eyes snapped as she heard that. She instantly got up, but she had to see this for herself. She wanted to know if this was true or was it false. She had to know. Meanwhile, Snetty sat right in the conference room. As she was at the head of the table, the room was large and circular. She was the only one in there for the moment until Homura and Koharu came in. She said nothing upon that. Having the advisors here wouldn't be a bad idea. Well, they were not the only one. Jerry was not here at the moment. That was kind of bad, in case something happened. However, elite envoys were in the corners, all watching, all there, ready to move at any moment notice. Kakashi Hatake and several others who overheard this news was making their way as they wanted to see if this was a reality. However, the envoys were surrounding the office and the tower, preventing anyone from intervening. No one was to go up there at the moment. Danzo had his root ninjas move into positions, just in case this was going to turn out to be something that wasn't favorable for anyone. He would have the office sealed off by his best envoys, and the members in there would be eradicated if the Hokage accidentally dies. Well, it wouldn't be his fault. She got caught up in the violence. This was a good chance of him securing his spot as the Hokage. He had the backing of the Sarutobi clan behind him because of Asuma, and there was many others that respected Asuma very well, and they knew that this boy would just be trouble. As he had his root envoys spreading word that the demon was here to wreak vengeance upon them. Danzo really believed that the demon should be here in Konoha. The Nine-Tails should be stripped out of him and seal away back in the normal child here. Although it was quite hard for them to do that given the circumstances of how powerful the beast was. A normal child would not be able to contain it. But still, they would find a way. They will find a way. They could not let the Jinchuriki just run free out there in the wild. Despite him controlling the entire nation, they could not allow this. The door finally opened as Anvu stepped in first. 3 at the front, 3 at the back. Snetty looked him over. He was ridiculously tall. Probably as tall as Jiraiya. He was muscular, however not so much. Not like the Raikage, however he had muscles. But what troubled her though was the chakra that she felt. She could tell that he was not exerting himself, however his chakra felt so dense just by being close to him. Her envoys felt it as well, so did the elders, as you could see the worry on their face. However, that look in the other one's eyes. Long red hair that reached down. It seems like he didn't want to be here. And that woman. From the reports that she was given, this was Hanoka, the one that came back with him when they had thought he died the first time. Hokage, it's an honor to meet you, he said. Likewise, she said. I've been looking forward to this meeting. Seeing that you refuse to let Jiraiya find out any information about your village, I presume you're willing to inform me face to face. Yes, there's a lot we must discuss. However, there's a few individuals that I wish to see. Before she could say anything, he spoke. Kunai, Sakura Haruno, and Hinata Hyuga. Once they arrive, we shall speak. He then proceeded to go quiet. Snetty clenched her fist at his audacity. It was like he was commanding her to do as he says. However, she wanted to know where he stands and where Konoha was involved in all of this. She looked towards her envoys as she gave them a signal to go and get these people. From what she remembered, these were his friends, close people that were close to him. Perhaps he just wanted to see them again. However, the girls would not be pleased. She looked him over. Despite being in a nation that once hated him and still do, most people did not like for what he did in the past. He seemed so carefree. Was he truly that powerful enough to not fear anyone, as she had not heard what happened at the Kumo village yet, so yes, that was the main reason. Meanwhile, inside of Naruto's seal, as Naruto appeared in front of the gigantic beasts. However, there was just one thing in there. There was a mistake that happened a few years back. It was the reason why Naruto's eyes had a red tint to it. As Naruto looked up towards the fusion between Carnage and Kurama, as the thing stepped forward. But guys, if you and subscribe right here for something more to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace, guys.